Sajady here with Mas on Sunday. Welcome. Today we have a really exciting show that really affects a lot of people, but nobody wants to admit it, which is really sad. So we're going to be bringing it out, like always. We always bring out those deeper issues that one nobody ever sees, nobody wants to talk about. To bring it out, to really say clean it up, not about covering it up. Moss on Sundays, Exponential Intelligence, XI. It's not about covering your shit up, guys. It's about looking at it and going, damn, I got to get rid of that stuff so you can live lighter, cleaner on your life journey. A lot of other modalities, by the way. What do? It's like, yeah, you've got this garbage. Let's work around it. Let's create something around it. Let's bury it. Let's try to live with it. Let's try to be happy with it. No, it doesn't work that way. That garbage keeps pounding on us. It gets growing on us. Imagine, if you will, and I know I'm just jumping right in. That's the way I am, because I want to make the best use for my time to help you all out. A lot of new people, so welcome. Some of you, wow, there is a ton of new people listening in or listening to the recordings again. So that's really fantastic. Why? Why are we growing so fast? Because, well, we work. It works. What we do can change your life in about 18 days, actually, maybe less. So we'll be talking about that as well. And we'll be talking about, we'll be talking about, well, a lot of things, but we're going to be exposing, say, the patterns that control your life. In this case, this topic is, why am I successful but not happy? So think about that. Think about it for just a second. There's a ton of successful individuals, and if you look on, YouTube, you'll hear of celebrities being rich and famous and how it's not making them happy. I mean, tons of them, oftentimes even more depressed than addictive. Why does that happen? Like Cameron Diaz, Jay-Z, Josh Radnor, Lady Gaga, Selina Gomez, celebrities, CEOs, influencers, just to mention a few. And then think of the logic here, guys. Think of the logic. So those individuals, they've got the looks. Like Cameron Diaz, she's got the looks, she's got the talent, she's got, all that, and the money, and then she's not happy. A lot of those individuals, right, are like that. And then there's billions more that flock to that lifestyle that aren't going to be happy. And they kill for whatever that lifestyle is, especially as you get into the higher levels, right? They're CEOs, they're billionaires, they're multi-billionaires, and they're still not happy. So they have to control more and more and more. It's like, why did that happen? And then some of you might go through that religious route where, and how many of you do that? Again, raise your hand. I might not see it, but I can see you. I can see your essence, your spirit, your soul, by the way. Raise your hand. For those individuals, go, well, shit, that's why they're like that. That's, they did become successful, and they're selling themselves for the wealth of this world, and that's why they're like that. But how many of you didn't do that? How many of you are the nice people? Those individuals who are religious or spiritual, and still have the same problems. So what the hell is the difference? The difference is that they just do it better with style. So we're not going to be talking about that, but I'm just giving you, that clue that none of you are better off than any of the others, by the way. What's the key? The key is to find that wealth deep within you, and then you'll have that wealth outside of you. And you would not be, say, poor or in need of anything. That's the key. And that's the wealth that everybody is striving for. But most people think that becoming wealthy superficially, again, physical wealth, is going to get them there. And this is why not having physical wealth is going to get you there. So do you see the problem there? There's a lot of mathematics, or there's a lot of people think that their equation of life is like, if I forgo everything because my religions and spiritual teachers tell me, if I forgo all the worldly possessions, like Buddhism, for example, and by the way, Buddha never taught that. He never ever did, by the way. But most Buddhists believe that. There's a lot of people that believe that, right? Um, if I walked away from all that stuff, then I'll be happy. Well, where's your bliss? And then the people who, again, think that they'll find their bliss. And that's what we're going to be focusing on why wealth of either aspect doesn't satisfy you. Um, so let's take a deep breath in. We'll just do it into a working experience here. Just take a deep breath in, just notice your wealth. Okay, whether you have a lot of money, you're all that, or you're striving to be all that, or you're not even there yet, but wanting to be all that. And wealth, for example, might be, say, connecting to a godhead, connecting to a higher power, your angels, and all that. So again, we've got the whole spectrum. Okay, what does wealth mean to you? Take a deep breath in, and I know many of you will go, well, I just want to be happy and blissful, which is good, which is fantastic. Everybody wants to be happy and blissful, and kind and all that. But as you notice your chest, the problem is that, and this is the number one reason why individuals, again, like Cameron Diaz, Selina Gomez, and all those individuals that are super successful or almost successful, again, like people who make a couple 100,000 or whatever it might be, and beyond, let's say, and even the average income, I don't know what it is, about 70,000 or whatever it might be for the family, right? For a family of two. Again, they might be, say, good, but they're not happy. Okay. And the reason why that is, as you take another deep breath in, and I'm going to ask you again, and you might just want to write it down. So grab a pen and paper. Again, it's not for me, it's for you. And then comment in as well. So what does it mean for you to for you to be, say, abundant or wealthy? Again, some of you go, well, I need, $1 million a year, whatever it might be. Or some of you, well, I just want that bliss state, right? And that's totally fine. Wealth means to me to enjoy life and fully as I can, have health and great relationships. That's really fantastic. That is really fantastic. Satisfaction. Um, I want to be my own individual self without all the shit that was passed to me. Again, an ex-hire, obviously. So think about that. Reread what you wrote. Or if you didn't write it down, you should. But if you didn't write it down, think about what came to mind. So in this topic, in this Moss on Sunday, why you can have everything that is supposed to make you successful and happy, and it doesn't, what you can do about it immediately, and then we'll experience a meditation, and that's what I'm getting you into. It's called a hyper meditation that can rewrite that definition of success, because it's all about your definition of success. Most people, their mathematics are fucked up. Simply, their equation for success has, say, a lot of variables that they didn't even think about. That's the problem. And that's why you can be successful but not happy at all. And that's the problem with the world. Also, we have this idea, through media, through whatever, social media, TV, movies, and all that. That again, everybody's striving for that peace, right? Like I said before, it doesn't really work that way. The reason being is the equations underlying that. So take a deep breath in again. Again, notice where wealth resides in you or resonates in you and what that wealth means. Again, some of you go in connection to pure source. Right on. That's really the key. or connection to your purest source. So, I work with a lot of individuals who are super wealthy. You know, to me, their wealth doesn't impress me because I get impressed by, is that outside wealth equal to your internal wealth? And if it's not, it doesn't impress me. I don't care if you're, the president of, whatever, the latest, hottest, act in Hollywood or wherever else. It doesn't impress me because there's many of you like that. You'll come and go, and you'll have no impact on you nor others around you. Okay. And I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that, but that's just the way it is, because again, the physical wealth is fiat currency. Okay, striving for that physical wealth and staying away from it in this reality is fiat currency as well. You're not a good person, by the way, moving away from that, and not showing or not existing or not experience, say, the abundance of this world that was given to you. So either way, and again, I stress because there's a lot of people through the world, through religions, again, that are, say, held down. So I'm working on the both sides. So let's just take it mathematically. Um, take a deep breath in, and again, notice where that wealth resides or the pain of wealth resides. Some of you, as I'm analyzing you, you've come from a wealthy family, whether the last generation, your parents, or 2, 3 generations back, and then you've decided to stay away from it because it's caused you a lot of harm and a lot of pain. So, all right. So the equation might be fantastic, but the problem is that I want, happiness, I want joy, I want abundance, I want whatever, I want to have that connection, I want to be that individual, I want to be of my own. But the reason why it doesn't work is what you're paying for that, what you're paying for, say, abundance, whether it's physical possessions that you think will get you to a bliss state. By the way, if you go back to Egyptian times, a lot of the wealthy, they paid, say they're dying, they would pay the priest or whoever to go, hey, here's a brick of gold, ensure that I go to heaven. So think of that. So it's really misconstrued. The equation is totally fine. But the point is that in this reality, and it's all about consciousness, by the way, for you to become wealthy of either sides, whether you're, again, physical wealth, your way to happiness, or again, spiritual wealth, your way to happiness, the equation, the component in the equation, and it's not a variable, by the way, it's a constant. The constant, that's the problem. That's why many of you who are successful aren't happy, because you sacrificed yourself for your wealth or non-wealth. Simple as that. What do I have to do? And read if you've written it down, read it again. And then what are you going to do for it? What are you going to do to make that equation, say, equal? That's your problem. Got nothing to do with what you want. What you want is fantastic. I mean, who doesn't want health, wealth, I don't know, benefits for their children and the world and all that. But, and that's the problem, what are you going to do to achieve it? So, in a nutshell, if you've ever wondered, it's like, fuck, I've worked my ass off. I got to become this millionaire or billionaire. And this is stories that I hear all the time from my clients, higher level clients, and they go, Moss, I'm not happy. My kids, they're still abusing themselves. They're still cutting themselves. So, what kind of life would that be? Right? You've got all the wealth in the world. And this is why it hurts even more when you are wealthy and you can't do a damn thing about that. You're still addicted, or your partners aren't, say, as connected as they could be to you. Your loved ones, they've moved away, or again, you don't talk to them anymore. Your kids are still addicted. Your kids are still ill. You're still ill. You're getting old, just like your parents did. So it's like, was that functional? I've never heard of any wealthy individual on their dying bed go, Moss, if I made another $1 billion, That would have been the ticket. That would have been that golden ticket for me. On the flip side, I get a lot of clients going, Moss, you know what? I've dedicated my life to helping people. I've started charities. I've done so much work, different religions, not just one religion. I've tried all the religions, but Moss, I'm still hurting. I have to sacrifice everything. That's the key. They're sacrificing everything. You're not supposed to do that, by the way. The equation, okay, the thought process, what the goal, okay, the goal is totally, absolutely correct. That's what you're striving for. The problem is again, how to achieve that goal. If you're having to sacrifice yourself for any abundance of this reality, it'll never sustain you. It'll never feel good for you. And then what you'll go is like, well, if you're on one side, you'll go, well, those people did it to me, or society did it to me. I need more wealth. I need more control. On the flip side, or both sides, you'd go, well, God did it to me. Why is God? He gave me all the abundance in the world. And again, he didn't give me the happiness and all that stuff. That's scary, isn't it? And then we get totally confused. You're going to get a lot of confusion, by the way, coming up in this October. And again, write this down because my predictions are really accurate, over 95% accurate, I would say. Let's take a deep breath in again. Still working on you as a whole. The clarity of what you paid will show up this October. The debt that you owe to yourself, not anybody else, not to God, not to your religions, not to, I don't know, whoever, the money and the whatever. Again, the debt that you owe, what you've spent, whether it's from your family lineage or you, it doesn't matter. That debt is passed on generation to generation to generation to generation. With each generation, the debt skyrockets, by the way. The debt to your spirit, the debt to your essence. If you are an atheist, the debt to your limitless self, the debt to your potential. Okay. If you are spiritual, the debt, not death, debt, DEBT, the debt to your identity of who you are at a timeless level. Again, your spirit. So let's take a deep breath in again. October, November is going to be that month that the accounting is going to be, say, revealed. You literally will see how much you've spent. Let me give you an example. You have a great time. You're having a great time, fantastic time, and you're just running a bill. You're just running a tab. Take a deep breath in. You're running a tab. You're having a great time. You might not be having a great time. It doesn't matter. You're working your ass off. You need resources. You're paying for it. Or you're having a great time. You're traveling the world. You have all these nice clothes, nice houses, nice whatever. And again, you're running the tab. And then October, November, the maitre d comes up to you and goes, let's get this tab settled. That's what's going to be happening this coming year, October, November. Again, COVID and everything else is just about that, by the way. COVID, you might go, well, what the hell is COVID? COVID is just a symptom of how much we've lost ourselves, how much we've lost our identity. Simple as that. It's just a symptom. So it's not the cause. It's an after effect of who we think we are as humans, by the way. Right? We degrade ourselves. Look at how the public runs around. It's another prejudice, by the way. And again, I'm getting off topic, but again, that debt will be, again, exposed as well. Take a deep breath in. It's not a death sentence, by the way. It's not anything like that. It's the beginning because you have a chance to let go and free yourself from that debt. It says, hey, your family, your family history with your heart issues, your abuse patterns, your addiction patterns, and all those things. Here it is. Here's the bill. Here's the tab. Are you sure you want to keep running it? You don't have to pay that back, by the way, or the way you pay it back, right? You do have to pay it back, right? The way you pay it is not by creating more debt, not like the government, not like the Federal Reserve and the US government, where what do, right? We need to pay off the debt. We'll print more money. Well, each time you print more money, the US government is burdened with more debt, by the way. So again, another off topic that we discuss it in deeper classes on the XI uh, community. Uh, Breath in again. So most people pay their debt by giving more of what they're not supposed to give away, right? Your children are ill. You think you need to make more money. People think that way, by the way. You're a millionaire, billionaire. It's like, well, I'll do more. I'll give to the poor. I'll do all that, right? And then you set your internal resources again, your soul, if you will, your essence, your spirit, to give more. On the flip side, again, I'll do cover both sides because one is not better than the other. On the other side is like, oh, I'm going to help more people. I'm going to submit more. I'm not going to enjoy this reality as much. I'm going to keep my head down and just, bow and just like destroy my life here to again understand the beauty of God. Nope. October, November coming up, guys. This is the process. It's like, hey, this debt, it's getting really, really expensive for you. Are you sure you want to continue with this tab? All you have to do to pay it is wake up. Literally, you wake up and you start to, it's like, well, what does waking up mean, right? A lot of people go, wake up. You have to be awake. Well, take a deep breath in. That's what we're going to get into. And this is what you can do right now, right here. Again, notice your chest, notice your throat, notice your upper back, notice your lungs. Notice where the heaviness of wealth comes to you, whether you're wealthy. Some of you go, well, I'm wealthy and I'm happy. This doesn't pertain to me. But look back at how much you paid for that wealth. Look at the sacrifices that you've made. By the way, I'm not saying there's no hard work. You still have to work hard, but it's very different. It's the consciousness that you exist in this consciousness. And I talk a lot about this on the Moss Experience on the Best You TV. You can get it in Roku and some other channels, but again, or the app itself, the Best You TV. A lot of good shows on there. You can understand what consciousness is about. I'm not going to go into it here, but take a deep breath in. And you'll go, shit, I really sacrificed a lot for that wealth. And again, you're happy, you're okay, your family's okay. A lot of people do the 18 days. They're happy. They're good, they're healthy and stuff. They do the 18 days and they go, oh shit, that's what wealth is about. That's what real living is about. And then everything tastes even better because they had most of the puzzle, but they didn't have that piece that they had lost or paid for. Their spirit or their soul, if you will. Take a deep breath in again. A lot of people, again, this comment, people say they're woke. They're not woke. They're just holding on to an identity that destroys other people that uh, aren't believing in what they believe. That's what fucking woke is in today's woke society. How woke is that? Jesus. Breath in again, by the way. So what you want to do, you want to base your equation on wealth internally. Not like what you can get on the outside, whether it's physical possessions or again, spiritual possessions, because those are outside of you. What you want to do is go inside. How do you go inside? I call it spatial referencing. I'm not going to get into it much We do this on the 18 days coming up this October, by the way. Spatial referencing. Spatial referencing is the mechanics on, say, the power of now, being present. I am, your internal self. Yoda has put it, was it the force within? It's the mechanics, it's the logistics, it's the 1, 2, 3 steps, step by step on how to accomplish all that I just said. All that can be done through spatial referencing, by the way. You can have that internal expansion. And as you expand internally, your value of yourself rises. As your value of yourself rises, and I'll give you this equation that most of you are going by, almost all of you, except for most of the XIers. As your value rises, the wealth around you rises. That's the key. And that's why, again, you could be successful and not happy, or you could be spiritual and not abundant or happy. Okay. So in this scenario, again, becoming awake means becoming abundant. Okay? Becoming awake, what does that mean? We have to define it. Not by being successful in that way, not by being spiritual in that way. Yes, those aspects you want to be. You want to be spiritual or successful, but you want to have your inner expansion. You want to expand into your grander being. And as you become your grander being, well, you're naturally happy. You can get rid of the diseases, the issues that you have of the past, the addictions, the abuse, and all that stuff that runs in your family while you're successful. And then as you do that, well, your wealth actually means something. So just to put it clearly, and then we'll just jump into this meditation, take a deep breath in. Actually, we'll do the meditation after this interview with AJ here. So basically, you're supposed to be level, or actually here, higher. This is yourself, your identity. Okay. This is, say, wealth or abundance, physical, spiritual, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. Again, spiritual wealth, physical wealth, it's the same thing. That's one thing that people have issues with. People go, it's separate. It's not, it's the same thing. Okay. That's why both sides have the same results. So, what did I say, guys? Spiritual wealth, physical wealth, it's the same thing. It's defined as the same thing. Here's the problem. You're here. You want spiritual or physical wealth, right? This is your bank account. As this goes up, this goes down. This is why you're in debt, and it's a heavy burden. Society has a huge burden, right? So they want more. Where does society's wealth go? Where does your internal desire where does your internal, say, worth go? Way down. That's why you're not worth anything to any government, by the way. Unfortunately, you're just a mass. You're just another peg. You're just another cog or another peg in the wheels of industry. No matter who you are, the president, of the U.S., or even those individuals, say, that control the world, you're just another peg. This is the reason why you want more. You want more. You want more. This is why you want more, because you're seeing that all this wealth here, spiritual or physical, in this pattern doesn't do you any good. It's fiat wealth, just like the currencies of every nation here today. It's fiat wealth. It's not worth the money it's printed on or minted on. Right? What you want to do, what I'm talking about, is, again, through spatial referencing, you define who you are. So you level out. You might lose a little bit of your wealth as you level out, not much. You come here, level, and then this is the key, and this is what XI does very simply. You awaken, you expand, your wealth expands, you deposit more money into your internal self, again, through spatial referencing, becoming present, becoming singular. Your wealth naturally has to gravitate. It's not an exchange. This is why you're wealthy and not happy. And wealthy was, what did I say, guys? Spiritual or physical wealth. Okay. So with that in mind, what you can do today, without doing anything else with me, notice your body I know it sounds weird. Notice every action. Be observant. And those people who've done it, higher level spatial referencing, obviously, I'm just giving you a little insight on what spatial referencing is about. Those people who've done it, let me know how well it's worked out for you. Right? Again, observe every action that you do, the way you walk, the way you hold your steering wheel as you drive, the way you hold your phone as you drive, the way you talk, the way everything that you do physically. Screw the mind. Don't worry about being present or focusing on one thing or anything. Pay attention to your body. Pay attention on how you interact with this environment. And that'll get you a really good start on your self-worth. It's scary because you'll see the tab that your family and you are running. All right. Alrighty. So what we're going to do is we are going to get into um, a huge transformation with AJ. Hi. How are you doing, hon? Oh, I can't hear you. Yami, I can't hear her. Uh-oh. Is it me or I don't think it's me.
Are you there?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Nice. How you doing, hon? It's so nice to see you again.
It's wonderful to see you as well. Thank you for having me.
You're glowing. You look so brilliant. I mean, you're beautiful, but your internal self, and that's what I was talking about as well, guys. Just before we get into AJ and her fantastic transformations. So what I'm seeing, and many of you are seeing that, she's obviously a beautiful woman, but when you look at her, there's that say essence, there's that say solid piece or solid identity of her internal self that goes beyond her beauty and the success. So again, congratulations, hon. And maybe you want to talk about that as well. But tell us about how you started with XI. We've just got a few minutes. So tell us about how you started with XI, the changes that you've seen, and where you are now.
Absolutely. So I was introduced to you through a friend, and I'll admit I was super skeptical.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of your YouTubes. I kind of stepped into the water very slowly and tiptoed. But once I did my first meditation with you, it was very apparent that you were a catalyst, and I could sense it for sure.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it I really have a hard time explaining what it is that you do other than you provide this space for us to be able to look within ourselves and our behavior
Yeah.
and how we're showing up in our world, because obviously before that behavior is that conscious step. And by becoming aware of all of that and being present to all of that, it has been such a gift, and just absolute gift to, I mean, what the work that you've done with my husband and I, and him going recently through COVID in the hospital,
Hmm.
and the healing that we've experienced from just our dynamics within our own family. And we're just so grateful to you and this community. Thank
Well,
you.
well, AJ, that sounds all great and everything, but to the skeptic, and I'm just going to play devil's advocate. Like, okay, so what? I mean, that sounds great, but what specifics is? Can you give us any specifics, like on what happened? How's
So
that?
the specifics of the frequency work, or are
Well,
you
no, how
asking?
you've changed, how it's benefited you.
Oh, well, absolutely. For me, when we met, I was running those sacrifice patterns, and I had
I remember that.
sacrificed a lot for wanting to make money and prove myself to the world and those kind of
Mhm.
things. And I wasn't even aware of the exchange that you were just talking about. And my family means everything to me. That's one of the reasons I was attracted to you, is you're such a family person,
Yeah,
and you put your family first, and you don't believe in sacrificing for wealth over your family. Yet
absolutely.
my internal self, that's
Mhm,
who I am. I believe in
mhm,
family legacy, I believe in wealth, I believe in family. And I
absolutely.
was sacrificing all of that to try and get to some level or to become something.
To
And
try to make them happy.
yes.
You would sacrifice, isn't that the craziest thing, AJ? You
Ugh,
sacrifice your family and everything to make them happy.
yeah.
It's like, how does that work? So
Yeah, it makes me
anyway,
want to
I just
cry.
wanted to, yeah, go ahead.
It makes me want to cry because I was just under such a lie and didn't even realize it until I started doing this work and seeing the changes that have happened just by becoming conscious and present and honest with
Yep.
myself.
That's kind of scary, isn't it? When you go through the process, I call it detox, guys. If you're new to XI, again, it's got nothing to do with me, but I like AJ said, I give you a space where you're really safe and you can look at all this stuff, in a safe space, and you can go, "That's not mine." And a lot of your stuff was, your family patterns, right?
That was the dynamic is you provide that permission and that safety to look
Right.
at these things. And just even in working with you a little bit, I've seen that in that people can drop into a space where all those walls and all those veils and everything it is that you're fighting against and you don't even know you're fighting all of a sudden drop and you see it. In fact, if you ask for specifics, I actually went into one of your meta healings a while back ago
Mhm,
and I had this intention to launch something. And I was
mhm,
thinking about this morning, and I was so gung ho, and I was in my old consciousness at that time, and it failed like within 6 days. Like it was like not even because I was fully aware of the patterns I was running. But if I would have just gone off my coaches who were giving me all this rah rah cheerleader speech and
mhm.
positive talk and get in a positive mindset, I wouldn't have realized that it was my behavior that kept causing those
Right.
actions. So I failed faster, which was really great. But I've also
Well, that's awesome.
yes, and I've also expanded faster and I just appreciate your work and what you bring into this world and you doing it so authentically and with so much love and again that safe permissive space is everything. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, hon. And again, and I don't know, your husband has shifted a lot,
Yes.
uh, from what I'm seeing as well. Your and again, just analyzing you, if you don't mind, AJ, your whole identity of how you're even aging, it goes that far. I think you're looking at your parents and going, "Shit, I want to keep the shape that I am that today. I don't want to look like the elder women in my family. No offense, but no woman wants to age that way. So you're just looking at it. So this is the level that you're at. It's like, wow, I've changed the success patterns. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it just seems like you're more successful and more happier, and you're actually enjoying the work that you're doing. So it's still work, but it's not a sacrifice.
Not a sacrifice because I get to
That's
be
the
with my
key.
family. I'm
Yeah,
not sacrificing my
yeah,
time. And I
absolutely.
became aware of all those patterns. And that to me was the gift.
Right. And that's the key, because some people go, well, I have to work all these hours. How am I going to do this? Well, when you're finding who you are in all those hours that you're working, your family actually gets closer to you. You might not spend, say, again, as much time if you didn't have that job, but when you're together and you're awakening, because that's what they really want. That's what your kids want and your loved ones want, your spouse. As you're awakening, doing all that stuff that you do, they start to awaken. And then when you're together, there's that synergy that I'm seeing in you and your kids. Does that make sense?
It's
And it's like,
huge.
whoa,
Our children are
it's
just
crazy.
expanding incredibly.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. Huh? Thank you so much. Anything else as we wrap up?
Thank you. I would say that it's really the work of the frequency spa because we enjoy doing that together and the health, the vitality when you talked about abundance, it's all of it.
Yeah.
It's not just that success piece, but like you said, defining it from all levels. And I want to thank you so much
Well, yeah,
for
and before you go, AJ, the 18 days, how, because you did a session with me. And by the way, private sessions, guys, are, months out. So I'm going to be talking about that. But uh, can you just share how the 18 days transformed you? Because you didn't really need you don't need a private session with me to kickstart your life. That's what the 18 days is about. But go ahead. Any thoughts on the 18 days?
yeah, to me, it's so funny. The analogy of a roller coaster came to me about the 18 days. And when you think about meditation as an experience,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
And so you're on the roller coaster, you're going up, you're going around, and you're like, that's a really cool experience. But then all of a sudden there's this analogy of have you ever been on a propulsion roller coaster that's like,
Oh
five,
yeah.
4, 3, 2, 1, bam, and you're just off and your hair is flying in the wind and
Mhm.
everything's going everywhere. And to me, and you're just in this insane state of awareness, and you look at your friend and you're like, I would do that all over again. Let's do it again. And that's what I experience every time. It's a hyper meditation, but it's hyper awareness, and it's
Yes,
just amazing. And I just want to do it over and over and over again because I see the value in that. Thank you
absolutely.
so much.
Well, thank you so much, and we'll have to do some events together, hon. I
Yes.
think the people, well, her expertise, guys, is helping women become their best possible self. So with what I do, and that's been proven too, because I did a mini event. I kind of like a mini intro in one of your events, and with what I do and with what you do, I think that group really just like exploded.
It was
Into
beyond. I help women in the
yeah,
area of intimacy and relationships, and they
yeah,
dropped at levels that I had not seen. And that's why I'm such a huge proponent of your work because,
yeah,
like I said, and the other thing about it, Maz, is that you don't say it's you. You offer space for us to go within ourselves and step into our greatest selves, feel our frequency, and be able to share that in the world and talk about abundance on that level. That is a gift. And thank
absolutely, absolutely. Well, again, thank you, AJ. Again,
you.
we'll connect with the team, and we'll definitely see you somewhere in the world.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay.
Take care. Thank you, hon. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
All right, guys. So that's the 18 days, guys. We've got so much coming up. We'll jump into a meditation, and then we'll take some calls on why your life is the way it is. Again, live scans for you. So coming up, guys. One thing I was going to say is that many people go, "Well, I have to have a session with Moz." Well, you can, but at the level that I'm at, and again, it's not an ego state, it's just a level that I'm at, you don't need a personal session. One, it'll save you a lot of money. Two, um, most of the people's issues, especially if you're new to me, can be done in the 18 days, which I highly recommend. And then we're also going to get, say, a group session where don't work on you individually, but in subgroups. Because where my abilities are that, people who have, say, lack patterns, people who have, certain diseases or issues. Again, I don't claim to cure anybody, but people who have so and so. So my abilities have come to where I don't just generate, an umbrella frequency for you. Again, like AJ was saying, where I hold that space. I hold that space like, oh, if you've been, say, abused, physically, sexually, whatever, let's create a certain frequency there. And by the way, these frequencies, multiple frequencies that I can generate, has been proven through some testing that we did in a Faraday cage, and hopefully that white paper will be coming out. So within the same space, no matter where you are, again, that frequency, or again, that space for you, those individuals who've been, say, left alone or not taken care of, or whatever it might be, those individuals who have certain issues, diseases, physical issues, and all that. So I create, again, around, say, 5 or 6. Mostly, that's all that's needed. 5 or 6, say, pods or frequencies that you would bathe in, depending on where you are. I analyze you at a frequency level, personal frequency level, and then again put you into, say, those pods of frequencies, and that allows you to heal on your specific situation. So highly recommend doing, uh, and that's coming out. So again, initially, I wouldn't even suggest having a personal session with me if you haven't done one of those. And again, it's a new service that we're doing, part of the individual sessions, but again, the group individual sessions. That's, I don't know what it's called, but we'll call it. So that's coming up. I would highly recommend doing the 18 days. I bet that you'll start to, say, clean up within the 18 days without having a session with me. That's how powerful the 18 days is. Okay. Can't guarantee it, but again, a lot of people do clean up. And then if you still need a session with me, right? You're still on the waiting list, get on the waiting list. What'll happen is that instead of like cleaning this garbage up, I can help you expand into your powerful self. You've already cleaned up. Now we can focus in on, say, the power within you rather than, you need help with this, you need help with that. So wouldn't it be better that way for you? Okay. So that's what we're trying again, guys. Time. I work on, I don't know, 50 to 80 people a day, by the way, which is a lot of people. So and I don't need 2 3 hours. So time, don't worry about time, because the sessions, even the private session that we have, it's like 10 minutes or 15 minutes, or the bigger ones are like half hour, but those are for again, corporations and so on. 10 minutes is worth about, say, 2 decades of therapy. I'm not just saying it. People go, Moss, this 10 minutes is worth about, the 3 decades that I've gone to therapy. That's how fast you can transform. Because it's about frequencies. Like AJ was saying, it's not about psychology or all that stuff. It literally is about frequency. So you've got some things that are coming up, personal optimization, that's on health. Again, so if you're having a lot of health issues, you want to join the personal optimization. We did uh, previously sacrifice, letting go. So take a look at that. We just worked on that. Gosh, about, I don't know, 5 days ago. Personal optimization coming up tomorrow, October 4th, 9:30 p.m. Central Time. October 18 day hyper meditation. Start the 6th, so you still got time to sign up and take a look at what that's all about. Total human reset, by the way, if you want to totally get rid of this reality and not be part of it, like many of you XIers, again, raise your hand, comment in on how you're not part of the COVID, I was going to say scam, but COVID, whatever, COVID scam. Let's just say it like it is. You're not part of that space. You're, again, still within the society, but you're not being affected by all that, say, bullshit and all that garbage that's around. So that's coming up, Total Human Reset. This one specifies specific on relationships, but we teach you how to regain your health uh, by specific diets, high level diets, exercise. Alex, you guys know my son Alex. He's coming in to show you how to get healthy. By the way, I'm 60 years old. I look a lot younger now than I did 10 years ago, by the way. You see AJ vibrant as well, and many of you as well, turning younger. So that's coming up on let's see, in January. There's a free webinar information call on that, by the way, November 2nd. So come check it out on the Total Human Reset. And it's going to be totally different, totally upgraded. We strive for it to change more and more. Let's see. All right. So without further ado, oh, this is so cute. Somebody is talking about Emmy, my daughter, by the way. She's really a fantastic individual to connect with. Again, beautiful young woman, 15 years old, uh, dedicated 3 months of her life to do the 18 days, massively transformed, and now she's gotten her own gifts and she helps individuals reset themselves. Very interesting. So take a look at that. Sajady.com. Um, and again, somebody says, well, it's much cheaper. Not about the price, guys. She does something very different. I do something very, very different, by the way. I'm more like a surgeon that goes in and like disconnects all that stuff. And then what Emmy does is like post op. So, and that post op really allows you to heal. So there's many ways, by the way. Alrighty. So, by the way, guys, I just have to unfortunately read this because of today's society. This is Masajadi with Exponential Intelligence, Sunday, October 3rd, 2021. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't diagnose or heal. I can scan your frequency signature and tell you what I see. Please consult your doctor for professional advice. If you ask to be scanned, you're agreeing that we may use your session on any public media to help inspire others. So it's very simple. Remember, if you don't want us to use what I'm reading, analyzing you, then don't ask to be scanned. Really simple. All contents are protected by copyright. You may not use our content in any way, shape, or form for any purpose without my written permission. And then please ask or type in your request only once. All right. So let's take a deep breath in, guys. We'll just do a group meditation. Again, notice your sternum. Again, breath in again. Notice your spine. And what we're going to do, just for time, I'll work on all of you. Okay, so just stay in that meditative state, even if you're listening to this as a recording, and then we'll analyze people, and then as always, we'll work on the world leaders. Right. So think of any world leader, and I'll work on them through you, so they can do their best job. Because they always say, they're doing it for your safety. Well, let's keep them to that. All right, we'll just jump right in. Is it Raganide? Raganide? Mo? Scan me, please. Sure. So there's something going on with your head. Again, not a doctor or anything like that. But you're either in your head or there's some physical issues with your head. From what I'm seeing. It might not be you, but somebody who might have died with head injuries or brain injuries. So you want to be careful of that. Or as you age, parents, for example, and again, I could be totally wrong. You never know, but probably not. As they age, people have like motor skill issues, like they walk slower or they might trip over a carpet and, a little carpet, stuff like that. So that's the kind of pattern that you're running. You don't have to run that. So I would suggest again a session or the 18 days, but let's on top of that, it's not just the physical issues. And again, by the way, if I read or analyze you, comment in on how accurate I was, not for my benefit, but for you and others listening in. Take a deep breath in, guys. Yeah. So on top of that, there's a lot of confusion. It's like, which way should I go? And then what happens is that you don't pick which way you should go. So what happens is that your life stops. And so it's all the same package. Your life stops, and well, you don't go anywhere. So that's the key. So what I'm doing for you, again, mini session here, is literally pulling that out. So you to have choices, by the way. In the past, I think all your choices that you wanted kind of got limited. So, all right, Ellie B. Hamas, may you scan me? Of course I can, Ellie. So, Ellie, you are getting into really finding your confidence, your completeness. You're not letting anybody say take advantage of you, or you're calling it out. You're calling people out. If that makes sense to you. So really nice job, by the way. This is probably because of the 18 days and all that stuff that you've done. Again, that inner confidence. So you're ready to, like, you've prepared yourself. So Ellie, you're ready to get on the stage of your life and live life the way you want. So that's where you are. So I would jump into it. So I'm just going to push you onto your stage because that's what it's. And you would have been in the past that type to go, for somebody to go, oh, it's okay for you to be you. Okay. So the last, um, the last command that you'll say, listen to, if is mine, is like, Ellie, it's okay for you to be you. Okay. So go out there, be yourself. Don't allow anybody else, because you'll get into situations where people will kind of push you just to test you. So just stand strong, speak up, take action, whatever it is, and then you'll find that people will respect you very differently. And then this is where your relationships change. And then again, you don't take advantage of. This is Lynn Waters, and again, I don't need to know your real name or anything like that. Your picture, where's Lynn? Oh, Lynn Waters. So there's always indecision in you. You're not sure. You're always insecure. The relationships that you have, especially intimate relationships, always, like, they start out really good for you, for example. And what happens over time, they start out really good. They make you feel really good and confident, right? And then in a very short period of time, they start derailing you. It's kind of like, a sandcastle on the beach, right? The wave starts coming in and just starts washing you away. And then over a short period of time, you have no identity of yourself. So again, they start to undermine your your confidence. And then that's where you go, shit, I lost myself. What the hell happened? And then you start over and over again. So whether it's a career, but especially intimate situations, your own self, right? So that's why you change jobs, or you change situations, or you change places of business, or even where you live, all those things, because when it's new, you're up here and then you degrade. You don't know how to hold yourself. So I can help you with that. And again, the 18 days will really benefit you. Take a breath in again, hon. Let's help you solidify, or let's help you understand why you just wash yourself out, so to speak. So again, in this mini session, helping you understand why that happens to you. And then also, I would pay attention um, to your gut, by the way. That'll keep you intact, especially if you're talking to anybody. Okay? This is Maria Palm. Hi, Moss. What do you see next for me? Maria, I actually see you standing up to, it's not that male relationships are bad for you, but when you're connected, and this is when you're connected to males, you start to turn into a male identity. You start to lose your sense of self as a female. So the next step for you here is like, you're going to interact with males, no matter who it is, intimate person, your brother, father, the coffee person, whoever it might be. So for you, who's it, Maria? Anyway, Maria, yeah, Maria. um, for you, you're going to interact with males around you, and you're going to be you. Simple as that. You're not going to say get washed out, so to speak. Kind of like the last person, but in this case, it's just more masculine. So you turn masculine. So I think in the past, reading you correctly, and it's not your current files that I'm analyzing, and I have to look at your log files. In the past, you would have been more masculine to me. I would have said, Maria, you're running a masculine identity figure. And this is where you go really, really extreme. And I'm not talking about you, Maria, but maybe others people, because I'm working on all of you who's ever on live. And that's why I encourage you guys to be on live, by the way, because even if I don't pick you, I still can scan you like real time. Okay. In the past, yeah, you would have been more masculine. I would have had to. So what you've done with the XI, and how many women out there, or even guys, how many women out there have this masculine identity, especially if you become successful, right? No offense, AJ's not here, but AJ, she was masculine, by the way. She looked masculine. Now she looks like a solid female, right? And you can see that vibrancy of a woman coming through, right? Outside her, physical beauty. But that's the key. So in this scenario, what happens is that, especially success, women start to lose that identity because it's a man's world. You don't have to do that. That's part of the XI Woman series that we're coming up. XI Man, you don't have to turn into a dickhead to, become successful, by the way. No, I'm not saying all people are like that, but a lot of people do get that way. Let's take a deep breath in. Again, working on those world leaders. We're doing a lot here in a short period of time. Um, oh, what I was going to say is that, so that pattern that I was talking about, a female running a masculine pattern, right? You go really, really extreme. So although that female would not be, say, lesbian or any other whatever definition, she would not think that she was a woman. And that's where the sexual identity, sexual preferences, all those things get confusing. So this is Alana. Hey, Moss, can you scan me? You're new. Yeah, for sure. So you, Alana, you've always been, you, what would I say? You're the underdog, right? You're always like fighting for your position in life here, always fighting for your position in life, always going, I am worthy here. You're always having to prove yourself, Helena. It gets tiresome, doesn't it? Because, you're in a long term relationship, and it's like, God, it's like, and then, you'll have an argument, and you're going, fuck, I thought I went through this already. I thought I already proved myself. Yes, the proof for you, you prove something, it doesn't stay long for you, right? You have to prove yourself over and over and over again. This is where also people who run your pattern, you'll make $1 million and people go, well, that's not much. Or you'll tell yourself, it's like, yeah, but what about the next million? So again, it's never good enough, or you're never good enough. Let's just put it that way. So that pattern we can definitely delete, by the way. Take a deep breath in. And by the way, I started that pattern for you. Um, Aries women, totally masculine. Absolutely, guys. So the XI women, have you ever noticed, guys, we are going to do the XI women series. We've got Emmy, my daughter, coming up. AJ, she's going to be part of it, whether she knows it or not. But I've talked to her a little bit, so she knows. There's some other fantastic people that literally have been, say, masculine, really like that, really successful, and then they've turned into this strong female identity. So from experience, not just, women out there, but people who've gone through the journey already. Have you ever noticed though that there's other like women's movements, women's conferences, and all these things, and they're just like women. They're just women bashing men, women holding on to their insecurities, women, wanting laws out there to protect themselves. It's like you're not strong women. No offense, ladies. I'm not anything against your conference or anything, but that's not giving you a strong woman. Look at your daughters. If your daughters are fucked up because of the patterns that you're running, it's just proof that again what I'm saying is accurate. Okay, I'm just coaching you. That's not strong women. That's not showing women to be strong. It literally is showing that you guys need a defense around you. That's the problem in the first place, guys, ladies. You wanted somebody to protect you. They did, men, right? And now you're doing it in other ways. We need laws. We need this. We need this. No, you need to change your internal self, your internal dialogue to go, shit, I don't need anything to protect me. I can be complete myself. And that's where you again exude the women that you are. Okay. So that's what we are about the XI Woman series coming up. Let's see. Um, when will the women's series happen? That is going to be coming up. I know we've talked about it for a long time. I'm going to make sure it happens before the year is ending or starting to. Okay. Nope. A lot of this one, Asta, Astasa, beautiful name. I wish I would have said it better. Can you scan me, please? Yes. So you, for example, Asta, you are being henpecked by females, women, basically. So yeah, it's always being henpecked, or people always dig into your mind. So like, say that you want, I don't know, you want a latte. Okay, you want a latte, and then all of a sudden, all these people come into your head. All these voices, so to speak, come into your head, and then you even get confused about ordering a simple latte. So that simple decision, it's not your brain, by the way. No matter how much supplements or anything like that you take, you literally are connected to a ton of people. That isn't good for you, by the way. So there's always a lot of chatter again. So there's no definite direction, because if you choose a direction, as soon as you make a choice, by the way, as soon as you make a choice, you get confused about that choice. So even if you go down that choice, even if you get, say that you set a goal, right? You get very confused. First of all, it's like, should I do this goal? Should I not? Is it going to be worth it? You reach that goal and it's like, fuck, I knew it. And it doesn't satisfy you. So again, we can definitely disconnect you from that pattern. By the way, that's what I'm telling you or helping you with right now, to help you understand like where are all these other decisions coming from that's clouding your judgment, by the way. So thanks for the feedback, guys, on how accurate I am. This one, Moss 18-day provides that safe space to be totally feminine, be safe, and because strong and growing. As a note, I just want to comment, guys. If you're, I do provide you that safe space. Sometimes women, what happens, they create that safe space. They think I'm getting intimate with them because, again, I create a safe space for you all. Okay. Guys do it the same way. Straight guys literally are, they fall into this trap. Okay, that's how extremely good. I create this safe space. I know everything about you. Everything about you comes out. Again, that's called being intimate, right? And then that connection is made. Again, it's nothing sexual. And by the way, it's all you. It's got nothing to do with me. It's just I create a safe space where you can be intimate with yourself. And then many people, not many, but a few people, push that on me. And it's like, oh, Moss is getting, no, I'm not, by the way. It's just that you are getting intimate with yourself and you can see the weaknesses of yourself. So again, when those weaknesses come out, especially when women who've been abused, when your abuse patterns come out and all that stuff, you're in a safe space. Look at that and go, yep, I've been abused. Right. And then you peel it away because that's what is showing for you. It's not all this abuse shit happens or whatever happens. And then it's like, Moss did this to me. It's like, God, just go back in your experience. Have you been abused before? There you go. So it's not me. Again, it's just me showing you safe space where you can stay here and look at the abuse patterns as they show up and then release them. Simple as that. Okay. So please don't blame me for any of your garbage, by the way. Um, uh, See this one. I definitely used to want Moss to be my father. Exactly, guys. I'm that surrogate. Literally, and it's not me, guys. You turn me into any surrogate that you want to heal yourself, whether it's a lover, whether it's a father, whether it's a brother, whether it's a I don't know, a guru, whatever it is. Okay. And then at the same time, as I say, help you release, as that garbage releases, you look at me with, and the garbage in between, and you go, Moss did that to me. No, I didn't. It's like I'm helping you release it. So just again, help yourself release that. This one is CP 123. Hi, Moss, would love a scan and please reconnect my mom with my estranged niece and nephew. Again, I can't guarantee that or anything, but let's just work on you because that's one of your patterns. You're elevating yourself, you're becoming better, and then there's a lot of guilt and shame in you. And then what you do is like, well, I need to go help other people. Okay, at the level, and again, it's not just you. There's a ton of people like that. You become better. You become a bigger version of yourself. You become stronger. But that momentum as you're going, don't use it for anybody else. I know it sounds strange. I know it sounds like that's selfish, but say that you're going up a hill. Okay. And again, working on, people that run a pattern like you. Say you're going up a hill and you're getting that running start. You're going up the hill, you're getting that running start, you're halfway up the hill, and you go, God, I'm moving up, I'm doing really good. And then all of a sudden you stop and you go, wait, I got to get my nephew, or I got to get my loved one, or so how does that work for you? What do? You just ruin your motivation, your momentum upwards. You stop, and then you go. The sad thing about it is you'd have to slide back. Right? So again, you don't want to do that. What you want to do, right, which I would suggest, is leave them alone. Right? Again, it's the pattern of being or feeling selfish or shameful or guilty, whatever those patterns that you need to let go. Those are the emotional patterns that you need to disconnect from. That's what you need to disconnect from. It's not, so those emotions aren't real for you. You have to recalibrate that, and it gets confusing. What you want to do, you've taken a running start, right, up this hill. So you've got the momentum. You reach the top of the hill, and then you throw a rope down for the others. Okay, it's better that way. You've made it up the hill. Now you're showing people how you did it. You're throwing a rope down, and you're helping them. That's the only difference. Okay. Otherwise, nobody will go up that hill. Nobody will say get better for you. So I am an XI woman. I'm glad you can say that. Fantastic, and own it like you do. Um, all right, guys. This last one, Delana Thomas. Hamas, can you scan my 23-year-old daughter and help her move forward? Yes. So this is really wonderful. And this is how you know that you've changed. Okay. Is that uh, uh, again, the subject that I was talking about, why you're successful and not happy. This is like you've become successful, your family has stayed beyond. I mean, they've got the physical, possessions, but everything else has stayed. But when you really change, okay, whether you're successful or not, okay, is that you become of your own, right? That your intrinsic value is elevated. And then what happens is that your daughters are changing automatically. So you're seeing your daughters change. So you are, say, moving out of your daughter's frequency and allowing her to be her. So you haven't, through, I don't know, marital issues or whatever it might have been when she was like 15, I want to say, it's really stunted her. And it stunted you, by the way. And what you did at the time was you held on to each other for safety. So now through XI, the 18 days, whatever, you've separated, you've reseparated, and you're standing strong, which is really nice. So nice job there. So it's her opportunity to stand strong. So she'll probably go through, um, she'll probably go back to, say, a 12, 13, 14, 15-year old. So she'll feel younger and she'll look younger and she might do some younger things that a 23-year-old shouldn't do. Don't worry about it. It's just that she was stunted around that time frame. So she'll go back. And by the way, I'm just giving you this example, whether you're 40 or whatever, if something happened to you that kind of stunted your growth, you'll go back to that time period and heal yourself. So she'll go back to her younger days and grow into a strong 23-year-old within the next 2, 3 months, especially if she does the 18 days. Or if you do the 18 days and bring her in by just imagining her meditating. All right, guys, I can go on and on, but I won't. The one thing too, the 18 days, say you've done a couple of 18 days, you can go back and do the past, or you can continue on, because my frequencies get stronger and stronger. The world's frequencies get changed as well, so it becomes more dynamic. But say you elevated yourself from a level 0 to a level 5, right? You go, well, if I do the 18 days again, then I'm just going to start. No, you start with a level 5, you do another 18 days, and you go from level 5 to whatever level 10. Usually as you clean up, you grow by leaps and bounds. And the XI, by the way, the 18 days, especially the accelerated, if you're if you've done the 18 days, a few of the 18 days, you can do the accelerated. This isn't about fixing you anymore. Accelerate. It's about expanding your inner expansion that I was talking about. This is where we get to see the possibilities. You get to experience the possibilities of your life. So that's what the that's what the 18 days. I was just reading this comment. Yes, Moss helped my 15-year-old with stunted growth. Yeah. All right. So really nice. So um anything else? Oh, if you're new to me, guys, you want to jump on the 18 days, and I highly recommend you just doing the essential course, not the accelerated. No matter how well you've done with any other program, guys, the 18 days, it's so powerful, especially if you're new. It'll mess you up in a good way, but you want to take it, you want to understand the rope. So again, if you're new, just take the essential only for the first month or two. Okay? It's all up to you, but I'm just giving you a heads up. Okay? So because the changes are dramatic. All right, guys. Thanks for watching this show. Tune in next week. Tell your friends about it. Oh, and please like it so we can bring you more free content like this. All right. That's it. All right, guys. Thanks again. This is Mas Sajady. You've been listening to Mas on Sunday. Peace.